Hello and welcome to our lesson 1. We are going to look at the following objectives: understanding data, database, DBMS, database systems, as well as applications of DBMS. Data. What is data? Data is the known facts that can be recorded and they have a specific meaning. Let's take an example. We can capture the employee ID, the employee number, the first name, the surname, the gender, the date of birth, the age, the salary. Similarly, we can capture their name, their position, their salary, their joining date, the years of experience, the present salary. Now, all these is what you are referring to as data. Whatever that you can record and it has a specific meaning, that is what we are going to refer to as data. In the case of a home that is being leased, you can capture the client number, the full name, address, telephone number, the property number, address, the payment details in terms of the rent, the payment method, the deposit, the rent start date, rent finish date, and the duration. So whatever data that you can collect pertaining to a given entity, and that particular data is having specific meaning, then we are going to refer to that as data. We move along. A database is a collection of interrelated data. So when you organize this particular data meaningfully, and you're organizing it meaningfully for a specific purpose, then we are going to refer to that as a database. And of course, it's supposed to represent or to refer to a real-world entity. Let's give an example. When we talk of an employee, we know that in the real world we have an employee. When you talk of a student, we know that in the real world there is a student. And when you know that in the real world there is a student, what can you capture pertaining to a student? You can capture the student ID, you can capture their name, you can capture their student address, their major, their phone, their email, and so on and so forth. Similarly, for a student, you can capture their grades in terms of the student ID, the course ID, the section, the term, and the grade. But one thing that you need to take note is that in each and every relation here, for the students table, this is the related data that directly relates to the student. And so we have organized it together. Details pertaining to their grades has also been organized together. So when we are talking of a database, we simply refer to as a collection of interrelated. The key thing is that the data has to be related. We do not expect to see student ID here and then on the next column we see patient name. Or we get to see student ID, then we see word name. That's not correct. Another example is the employee database. You can see that the details we are capturing pertaining to an employee are interrelated. The years we are capturing are interrelated. So we expect that each and every data that we capture here should be related to the other data. So we do not expect to be seeing the name, the position, and then we get to see agricultural produce or the car registration number in this given arrangement. That might not work for us. We move forward and look at DBMS. DBMS in full implies database management system. Remember, our databases exist within our hard drive. For us to be in a position to access those particular databases, we can only access them through a database management system. And what is it? A DBMS is a set of programs. It's a program that enabled us to manage our databases. And managing in terms of creating, in terms of adding content, in terms of editing content, in terms of deleting content, in terms of managing security, and so on and so forth. We have a variety of DBMS softwares. Some of them we are aware of. One of it is Oracle, then we have MySQL, MongoDB, Postgre, MariaDB, SQL Server, Microsoft Access, we have Firebase, and so on and so forth. Now, the data that comes into our database passes through the DBMS. It's the DBMS that enables us to interact with our database. Now, the data may come from a certain interface. This could be either our mobile interface. It could also be coming from a web interface, or a user could actually be accessing the DBMS software directly and keying in. Just like, for example, in Microsoft Access, you can launch Microsoft Access and you input the data directly. In terms of a form, you may be provided with such a form. And this data, either via mobile app or a web app, this is the data that you are going to be populating. And once you populate this particular data, it's going to move from your web app to a DBMS. And this particular DBMS is the one that is going to push that particular data into your specific database. Remember, you cannot access your database directly without the use of a DBMS. Next is database systems. Database system is a combination, or what we can refer to as a collection, of both the database and the database management system. So a combination of the human resource database and this DBMS, in this given case, could either be Oracle, MySQL, SQL Server, Access, MongoDB, and so on and so forth. A combination of these is what we are going to refer to as a database system. Lastly, what are the different areas within which we can apply our database system? One of it is in the area of agriculture. You can use our database systems to manage your crops, to manage your cattle, to manage your orders, to manage your production, to manage your farm, and so on and so forth. Similarly, you can use our database systems when you want to do online shopping. And in this particular case, it will help you to manage your deliveries. It will help you when you're doing your orders. It will help you to manage your sellers. It's going to help you to manage your customers, and so on and so forth. You can use it in a college library. And in this particular case, it will help you to manage the books. It will help you to remember the people who have borrowed. It will help you to know the status of books, whether they have been returned, whether they are still out. It will help you to manage the students who have borrowed a book. It's equally used in the airline reservation system, and in this particular case, you're able to reserve a particular seat within an airline. You can be able to see the schedule of the different planes. You can be able to manage the customers who are booking. You can be able to generate tickets, and so on and so forth. You can also use it within a railway station. And similarly, you can make reservations. You can be able to generate tickets. You can be able to manage your customers, and so on and so forth. Those are not the only areas where DBMS can be used. It can be used in the medical to manage patient records. It can be used in the defense. It can be used in the manufacturing of products. It can be used in the social media sites like Facebook. You can use it in human resource. I think we saw about that. You can use it in the telecommunication industry, details pertaining to the calls that have been made, and so on and so forth. In the banking, of course, this is management of your financial transactions, and so on and so forth. In other words, you're going to see that database have a wide application in almost all the sectors of the industry. I want to thank you for listening, and I look forward to seeing you in our next lesson.